Hi guys, I am back with another installment of the Empath Survival Guide by Judith Orloff, MD. I did just do a quick video wrapping up chapter 6, which was discussing being an empathic parent and raising empathic or sensitive children. I did want to just keep the chapters separate as much as I can instead of wrapping up one chapter and then starting another, especially for people that might be, kind of just interested in certain parts of the book, certain things that resonate with them. That way it's easier to follow. So I did I think it was about a 12-minute video wrapping up chapter 6, and we're going to be starting chapter 7, which focuses on empaths and work. This chapter is a little bit longer, so it might be broken up into about 2 or 3 videos, just depending. As I've said in a few of my other videos, I don't like to give too much information, because sometimes when you get too much information, it is kind of harder to hold on to it. So we're going to start this one and see how far we can get and how much information we're going to get out of this longer chapter. And I think that because of the subject at hand, this might be something that even more people can relate to than maybe some of the other chapters. Okay, so chapter 7, Empaths and Work. Empaths must be comfortable in their work environment to feel healthy and happy, as is true for most people. However, since empaths may be less defended against stress than others, it's harder for them to bounce back without becoming exhausted or ill from their jobs. Empaths are creators, inventors, visionaries, artists, and people who feel first. We see the big picture while navigating the workday. We often think out of the box, which may make corporate or traditional office settings too restrictive. But when our talents are tapped, work can be fulfilling, energizing, and fun. Empaths thrive in the right work environment. A job that suits our temperament can inspire us, put us in a creative zone, and boost our vitality and passion. Also, knowing that we've contributed to the greater good, even in the smallest ways, satisfies an empath's giving heart. The wrong job, however, can suck the life right out of us and trigger a cascade of emotional and physical symptoms in response to stress, and emotional overload. In this chapter, I will share some secrets to finding the best career to support your gifts and sensory needs. Since we're typically at work for many hours, it's crucial for an empath's well-being to feel at ease there most of the time. Thriving in the work environment. 3 major factors play a role in our comfort level: the meaning we get from our work, the energy of the people around us, and the energy of the physical space. See where you currently stand with these factors and begin to envision how you might improve your situation. Number 1, meaningful work. Empaths enjoy doing meaningful work that is in sync with their sensitivities. We like to feel that we've made a difference in people's lives or in the world. Such work can be anything from gardening to running a catering business to working in the helping professions. Most importantly, the situation must intuitively feel right in our body and not sap our energy, though of course some days can be draining in any job. I feel blessed to have found work I'm passionate about as a writer, a speaker, and a physician. Like many empaths, I love being of service to others and tapping my creativity. Whether we are healthcare professionals, food servers, attorneys, or hairstylists, we can always be of service to our workmates as well as to others. This is a beautiful mindset that brings meaning to every line of work. As the poet Rumi says, "Let the beauty we love be what we do." There are hundreds of ways to kneel and kiss the ground. An emphasis on humility and serving others or the greater good can also take the sting out of a stressful or boring job. The values of love and service can also clarify the priorities for anyone who wants to seek more meaningful work elsewhere. Along with this, focusing on what we can be grateful for in every job instead of telling ourselves stories about how we dislike it will set a tone for constructive change, whether or not we stay in that position. Later in this chapter, we will identify the kinds of jobs empaths do and don't function well in. Then you will have more information to help you make the best choice for yourself. Number 2, the energy of the people around us. Our colleagues, coworkers, and bosses can make or break our comfort level in a job. Sensitive people have a lower threshold for noise, conflict, and office politics. The drama at work that might simply disturb someone else can drain empaths and make us anxious. Sensitive people do better in supportive and friendly settings that value goodwill and collaboration. A high adrenaline competitive job on Wall Street is not a good match for a sensitive person. Ideally, we want to feel we fit in with our coworkers and supervisors, although the workplace that understands empaths is indeed special. Finding individual coworkers whom empaths can relate to is a more realistic goal. Although not everyone in a workplace is likely to have a positive attitude, much less honor our needs, we're better off when we gravitate to those earth angels who do. Supportive relationships can save us during times of stress and overwhelm. Still, energy vampires operate all around us. As I discussed in Chapter 5, these vampires include narcissists, rageaholics, victims, passive-aggressives, chronic talkers, and drama queens and kings. Any workplace can have such vampires, and being sapped by one takes a physical and emotional toll that affects our job performance. Toxic colleagues, coworkers, and supervisors can be so destructive at work because it's hard to escape them. Empaths can develop health issues such as fatigue, irritability, pain, or an aggravation of symptoms we already have when we start to take on someone's negativity. To be prepared for draining people in the workplace, keep in mind that the various strategies we've already discussed to cope with them. One empath told me, "I survive by just doing my job and walking away from anyone who wants a pity party or drama or who is a backstabber or a complainer." An empath nurse shared this about her job. "I work the night shift to avoid the daily gossip, empty small talk, and politics. At night, I can fully devote myself to my patients and the job I love. I also suggest you review Chapter 5 and apply its protection strategies, such as setting boundaries, shielding, and meditation, to take good care of yourself in the workplace. With these tools, you can minimize energy depletion. It's also wise to spend time with positive coworkers who can buffer you from the more toxic ones." Number 3, the energy of the physical space. Every building, office, and stairwell has a subtle energy of its own. Some spaces feel uplifting while others don't. Empaths can intuit the energy of a physical space with their finely developed sensitivities. I suggest that you tune in to the energy of your workplace to make sure it feels right. Sometimes there is leftover energy, negative or positive, from previous occupants. If you find the energy level feels off, you can purify it by spraying rose water in the room. Be mindful that burning sage, though a good space clearing technique, might set off smoke alarms or disturb coworkers who don't know about energetic cleansing rituals and might be uncomfortable with them. Also, you can meditate alone or with like-minded coworkers in the workplace to infuse it with heart energy and remove any negativity or stagnation. In addition, you might even enlist the help of a feng shui expert, someone who specializes in creating a harmonious environment through the placement of furniture, plants, mirrors, and objects. Empaths also react to other factors that contribute to how a physical space feels. These include the quality of light, noise, and activity levels, smells, airflow, physical proximity to coworkers, and lack of privacy. Empaths don't do well without windows or with harsh fluorescent bulbs. Also, we tend to be a lot or a little claustrophobic, preferring a large perimeter of personal space around us to keep other people's stress at a distance. A cluttered environment can be agitating and depleting, whereas a quiet, spacious, and orderly space will be centering. Many electronic devices in close proximity can be draining too. Some empaths, whom I call electrosensitives, are particularly susceptible to this. Electromagnetic radiation from cell phones and computers affect the electromagnetic fields around our brains and our hearts. A recent study by the National Toxicology Program ties cell phone radiation to brain and heart tumors in rats. Poor rats. One empath told me, I cover the monitor as often as possible when I'm at my desk. The bigger monitors are worse. I try not to spend too much time on the computer without breaks, and I limit my cell phone use. I actually keep a piece of, I'll show you, black tourmaline. I keep a piece of this on my, right next to my computer at my desk, because black tourmaline is amazing at soaking up the EMF in your environment. So the harmful EMF that we all get from all of these different electronics that we use every day. So I keep a piece of this at my computer. I keep one in my purse, and I keep one in every room of the house. It's just something to think about that can definitely help you, because I also keep crystals in my scrub pockets because I do work in healthcare. Finally, the energy of the people in a workplace strongly affects how a setting feels. Negative people generate negative energy, and positive people generate positive energy. However, even in a chaotic or anxiety-provoking space, you can create a bubble of serenity around your workstation with flowers, crystals, and sacred objects. Emotional contagion at work. That's really a thing. I think, sensitive or not, if any of you have worked in an office environment, or really in any job where you're not the only one, there's at least 3 or more of you, this is truth. Empaths suffer at work when they absorb the stress in their environment. Research has documented that we can catch each other's emotions, a phenomenon known as emotional contagion. One employee's anxiety and panic can spread like a virus in a flash throughout an entire office, lowering morale and productivity. Happiness can also spread throughout a workplace. This positive emotional contagion results in improved cooperation, satisfaction, and performance among coworkers. Although everyone is susceptible to emotional contagion, it is amplified in empaths. The good news is that we can benefit from all the positive energy that circulates at work. And the bad news is that we can pick up coworkers' emotions and illnesses until we learn how not to take them on. To make matters worse for empaths, many offices today are designed as open space, where desks are not separated from each other by walls or consist of cubicles with only glass partitions. Everyone basically shares the same area. You can hear people talking, complaining, gossiping, coughing, blowing their noses, laughing, humming, cracking their gum, and opening candy wrappers. Also, you can smell your neighbor's perfume or what they're eating and see people walking back and forth. All this means nonstop sensory stimulation. This lack of privacy makes empaths more vulnerable to their coworkers' stress. Fortunately, there are creative solutions to prevent emotional contagion at work. Shopify, an e-commerce business, surveyed their employees and found that they had a balance of introverts and extroverts. So their office designers modified their offices for both groups. Some sections were noisier and more interactive, whereas other spaces had high-backed couches that could be rolled into a corner for privacy. There were also specific rooms resembling cozy libraries for quiet work. These design elements offered introverts more space and peace at work, and as a result, they weren't as vulnerable to their coworkers' stress. Emotional contagion can happen at a distance for empaths too. We can experience it with customers and clients over the phone and actually sense in our body what the person in another setting is feeling. One empathic workshop participant said, "I started a new job selling life insurance. I became anxious making calls, even when customers requested information. My heart went out to families who had no coverage and lost their homes, and also to others whose spouses had died unexpectedly. I started taking on their pain." Here are some tips for protecting your energy in an overstimulating, emotionally demanding, or crowded environment. So here is a protection strategy. Set energetic boundaries at work. If you are in an open space or chaotic office, surround the outer edge of your desk with plants or family or pet photos to create a psychological barrier. Sacred objects such as a statue of Kuan Yin, Saint Francis, or the Buddha, sacred beads, crystals, or protective stones can set an energetic boundary too. It's also important to take bathroom breaks for relief or to walk outside in the fresh air if possible. Noise-canceling earbuds or headphones are useful to muffle conversations and unwelcome sounds. In addition, you can visualize a luminous golden egg surrounding your workstation to repel negativity and emit only positive energy. Visualize yourself as safe and protected within this golden egg. All of these strategies create a cocoon of protection you can rely on. Although you can't control everything in your workplace environment, you do have the power to shift the energy in your immediate vicinity. If you focus on the safe space you create rather than surrounding noise and confusion, you can minimize emotional contagion. Then your work experience will feel much more protected and pleasant. Finding the right work. Some jobs are more satisfying and less stressful for empaths than others. For us to excel and enjoy our work, we want to make the most of our sensitivities, intuition, thoughtfulness, quietness, and creativity, and we don't want to try to be someone we're not. Let's take a look at this next. Okay, so we'll read this last section, which is the best jobs for empaths. I am often asked which careers and working conditions are ideal for empaths. Traditionally, they do better in low-stress jobs with smaller companies or on their own. Empaths are usually happier working at home, away from the office frenzy. Emotional vampires are much easier to deal with by email, phone, and text when they're farther away. If you work from home, you can plan your schedule and regular breaks to decompress. Many of my empath patients prefer being self-employed because they can avoid the drain and overwhelm of coworkers, bosses, and packed schedules. Empaths tend to do better managing their own time rather than having to attend the frequent team meetings that large businesses require, unless the team is positive and cohesive. One empath told me, I started a home business after many failed attempts at trying to function in offices. I feel much more energized and happier being my own boss. Another empath shared with me, I'm a seamstress working from home. I could never be in an office 40 hours a week. The smells, sounds, and lights make me ill. If you're employed by a business, it may be feasible to arrange a part-time home office situation and do your work virtually, with ongoing access to the internet, emails, texts, and Skype. Increasingly, people don't always have to be tied to their office to do their job well. A perk for empaths that allows them to have more choice in their work location. One empath who set up a location-independent business offers this advice to sensitive people. I used to work for a corporation and was drained by office politics. Now I work by Skype and it's fantastic. Think about what you love to do and where your skill set is. Then see if you can find a way to share this via the internet. It's the way the new workplace is going. I don't think that would work very well for me because I do patient care. So as much as we do telephone visits, video visits, and even emailing, like pictures if a patient has something they want the staff to see or the doctor to see, there's just only so much you can do without actually physically being in front of a person. And I don't know, I just feel like for healthcare, people will never stop needing that caring human touch, kindness, reassurance, and compassion. And those are my favorite things about my job. I am very much, when it comes to work, an extroverted empath. I really, really love the hands-on patient care. So yeah, that wouldn't work for me, but that certainly is where the workplace is going for many people. So something for everybody, which is awesome. However, whether you work at home or alone in an office, be careful not to become isolated or to push yourself too hard. Balance your alone time with people time among colleagues and friends. Some of my empath patients have found that working part-time from home is ideal. You can break up the isolation by scheduling outside meetings. An empath financial advisor who does this said, I like working independently and meeting one-to-one with clients in different places. I'm not stuck in an office or at home, and I can arrange my own schedule. All these options may be preferable to the sensory overload of driving to work in heavy traffic or staying in an office 8 or more hours a day. Time management is key. How do these considerations translate into real-world jobs? Empaths do well being self-employed business owners, writers, editors, artists, and in other creative professions. Many actors and musicians, such as Claire Danes, Alanis Morissette, Scarlett Johansson, and Jim Carrey, have admitted that they are highly sensitive. Other good jobs include website and graphic designers, virtual assistants, accountants, or lawyers with home offices, and independent electricians, contractors, and plumbers who can set their own appointments. Being a real estate agent or a roving business consultant can be fine too, as long as you establish good boundaries about when you can be reached and you don't overschedule yourself. Landscape design and gardening, forestry, or other employment that puts you in nature is wonderful for empaths, as are jobs preserving the earth and her ecosystems. Many empaths also go into the helping professions because of their big hearts and desire to serve others. They become physicians, nurses, dentists, physical therapists, psychotherapists, social workers, teachers, yoga instructors, Chinese medical practitioners, massage therapists, clergy, hospice workers, life coaches, and employees or volunteers for nonprofit organizations, among other heartfelt jobs. Working with animals, animal rescue, and veterinary medicine are gratifying choices too. But to thrive, empaths in the helping professions must learn how not to take on the symptoms and stress of their patients and clients. A skill I'll discuss later in this chapter. Occupations, such as being a police officer or firefighter, though heroic, may be too stressful for an empath because of the high sensory stimulation and ongoing physical and emotional trauma inherent in these roles. Empaths can excel when they use their intuition and compassion to contribute to the well-being of others. One empath patient told me, "I'm a good college professor because I can feel when a student needs extra help." Another empath said, "I am an effective administrator because people are comfortable coming to me. They know I will understand them." Although empaths receive great satisfaction from helping others, we tend to overgive, which puts us at a risk for burnout. Even so, when empaths in the helping professions practice self-care strategies, they can have gratifying careers that improve the lives of many. Empaths are valuable in a host of careers. However, you need to find the right work that supports your skills, gifts, and temperament. An empath's attributes may not be as appreciated in places such as corporations, academia, professional sports, the military, or government. A better match may be the helping professions, the arts, and organizations with more humanistic awareness. So use your intuition to sense if you are a good fit with the mission and shared goals of an enterprise, its people, and the space and energy of the environment. Just because a job looks good on paper doesn't mean it's right for you. It has to feel right in your gut and in your body too. Okay, we will stop right there and we will pick up in our next video on jobs for empaths to avoid. And that is a longer section. Working in healthcare and other helping professions, tips to prevent burnout and compassion fatigue, and the empathic therapist. So this really does go in. There's a protection strategy here, how not to take on emotions of others. So yeah, we will pick up next time with jobs for empaths to avoid and keep moving forward. And I hope that you find this helpful. I will see you the next time. And if you like these videos, please comment, like, subscribe. I would love to know if there's anything particular that you'd like to be read to next. I do have something in mind, but we have to finish this baby up first, which we almost are. So until next time, have a wonderful morning, afternoon, evening, or night. Take care.